Hello, welcome back to another reading episode behind the paywall here on Substack. Readings from the memoir-in-progress, still on Mum's story, which I think I mentioned in the first episode yesterday. We'll go through till about May, then we'll have a break, we'll sort of get some more sort of things. I was going to read Travel. This is following on from yesterday's episode where we talked about the engagement cake. And
memorable stuff, isn't it?
It's all memorable stuff. But, okay. At the end of our second year at Teachers College, the Bohemian and I decided to get married. The idea springs not from any romantic gesture, but rather from a mutual discussion of the practicalities of our relationship. It seems like the next natural step to take. Prior to announcing our engagement, my parents encouraged me to join Karen on a trip to Europe over the summer. The opportunity presents itself as part of a college tradition. In my parents' minds, it seems they see the trip as an opportunity to take stock of my next decision, to reflect on whether marriage is a suitable choice, considering that I've also shown interest in pursuing a further academic career in Melbourne after college. Yet, either I don't perceive the message or it's a very mixed one, because I am now, and I assume we are all, on a path towards my wedding. Nonetheless, I take the trip. I've become closer to Karen since dating the Bohemian. She is one of his strongest allies. She embraces life and is a counterbalance to my reserved self. Knowing her has been liberating. Was it liberating to know Karen?
Yes, I believe it was.
Overseas, I find myself amidst a group of young people, all of them pairing off with one another one day, searching out another companion the next. Their short-lived romances and flings are a fitting, if ironic, backdrop to my time abroad contemplating my upcoming marriage. They are a fittingly ironic backdrop to my days spent in the company of, I think we've got John or Jack, who joins me to explore Rome and the Vatican City, and who I find myself connected to through his Catholic family background. I don't know why that's such a point of connection for you, but sure. Nearing the end of our trip, John and I find ourselves capping off a day spent walking and exploring, seated in a small restaurant down a cobbled lane. There is an atmosphere of magic this evening, and of romance. There is a violin serenade. There is wine. For many years, I will recall this moment of connection. I don't know how to read this. I'm sort of dying of embarrassment here. For many years, I will recall this moment of connection. For many years, I will recall such memories fondly. What memory? Anyway, for many, many years, I will think of John and an atmosphere that was not acted upon, thinking longingly of this intelligent young man. What does that say? What does that tell you? What does it tell you that I feel freer away from my family? What does it say that being away from my mother and father brings me the greatest joy? But of course, none of this is acknowledged. My feelings, my happiness are not enough to alter the course of my own history. Ooh. My feelings, my happiness are not enough to alter the course of my own history. Nothing will ever be enough to draw me into the present. Christ, Deborah, you've...
Wow.
I'm so thoroughly depressed having read that.
Destiny speaks, fate awaits.
Oh dear. Okay, well.
I just come back and life goes on. The engagement ring is donned. The engagement cake is fought over. Garden is planted.
The garden.
Dress is made.
Oh God. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Garden is planted, the dress is made. Gee, Deb, that's some brutal stuff you've written there.
I'm writing that like as if that trip created conflict. It didn't create conflict, but it Karen had paired off with certain outspoken people who really almost made a mockery of me. Oh, you know, don't worry about her. She's going home to, you know, hold on to her rosary beads and get married. And I felt quite, in a certain group in a certain group and at a certain time in that trip, I felt on the defensive. But then I also felt free. I was engaging with other people and different men.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And I had fun. There was a real freedom about that trip.
Well, you've often spoken about that trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
So while I sort of felt I had to defend my position, well, again, that's probably me taking it too seriously. They were probably just throwaway lines in the moment from
Sure.
Karen and her compatriots. Yeah. Did it make me question, oh no, I don't want to go ahead with the marriage? No, it didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me that, like, there is kind of a very obvious, natural sense of, I guess...
Well, there was a sense of curiosity there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. But, like, it's interesting how curiosity is so out of bounds. Like, ordinary life, like attraction we're talking about, is like, it's so confronting.
Yeah.
Or bewildering.
Yes. That has been my whole life story. That what other people do naturally or consider
Right.
just doesn't seem to be in my hemisphere.
Do you have any sense of, like, why that's so?
I don't know. I'm trying to hold myself to some invisible standard or some standard that I've got to feel like I've got to uphold. I don't know.
Because is it you say it's not in your hemisphere, so to speak. Is it that it's not in your hemisphere or not in the hemisphere you share with your parents in relation to your parents?
Yeah, I mean that's quite true. I think because I've always been a different person in a different setting. I'm a different person in my workplace.
Because, like, the judgment or shame that you have around natural feelings of attraction, is it coming from you, or is it coming from you in relation to what someone else will think? If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I just never knew how to behave in those social situations.
Right.
I just didn't. And I don't know why.
What are those social... Sorry.
I'm talking about mixing with men and women mixing, boys and girls mixing.
Right.
I think, you know, the convent narrowed down my experience, I suppose, and fed into that, I'm the studious girl and I play the piano, and boys were, we had to associate with boys when we had those school balls. Oh really?
But okay, so aside from talking about the writing aspect, did you ever in your life think, this is a real problem for me? Like, should I address this somehow? Did that ever occur to you? Or?
Well, I addressed it. Yes, I was very aware of it. But I addressed it in making each space my own and comfortable, so that I didn't really have to address it. If you know what I mean.
Hey, if you're there,
you're absolutely confused,
and you just heard that reaction,
This is addressing it is me making every space supposedly safe.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. No. I'm not trying to. I don't want to harass you. I don't.
No.
No. Truly, I actually don't. I just. The inclusion of this Rome trip, and then suddenly there was the inclusion of this male figure who is called John there. I don't know whether that's his real name, but like that sort of came out again from me harassing you and poking and prodding and trying to find something, but there's so much evidence that you are just a normal human being in the world, and you have made it so that all that evidence is ignored. All that evidence cannot be allowed, you know. It's like you just it's almost like this what's denial? It's this.
Is it just a naivety?
No. It's not naivety. Like it's this forceful rejection of what you know in your stomach.
Yeah.
Because when I dig with you and when I harass you, we do get to a point where you just tell me the most ordinary things, like the most normal things. Oh, I went on this trip and, you know, there was this guy and blah, 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 and I was getting married. And it's like, oh, clearly you have a capacity to live as anybody else would.
If I wasn't going home to get engaged or married, could there have been something developed there?
But it's sort of like the choices you make, what you seem to think are the choices you must make that make life somehow more real, they are the more absurd choices. Like, you are young and then you're on a thing and you meet someone and you're sort of like, there is a feeling. But your choice is, I am absolutely on this path. I'm going to go home and marry somebody whose family kind of turns my stomach and and who's a complete idiot who doesn't have any of my values. That's the right thing to do. You know, it's like, why?
I have no answers.
Where is this belief in what is right is so obviously wrong, and what's not allowed is so obviously normal
and right.
Yes.
I don't know. I've got no answers to that. Even after we're getting through this project, or as we're getting through this project, I still can't answer that.
Thanks for joining the mailing list. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.